I've come to meet a neuroscientist who's going to help me recreate a very clever little experiment that was first carried out by a certain Professor Oman in Sweden. The experiment is simple. I lie in an MRI scanner and they show me some pictures.
All right, we're going to show you various pictures on the screen, so your job is just to lie still and watch them while the scanner measures your brain activity, okay?
Okay.
When the experiment begins, a series of random images are flashed before my eyes. Now, I've got to admit, this doesn't feel scary at all, but there is a lot more going on than I realise.
Okay, all finished. I'll come and get you out.
You thought you were seeing just some random jumbled pictures, but in reality what you were really seeing were these pictures of snakes.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, but we showed them so quickly that your conscious brain couldn't work out what you were seeing.
At a 30th of a second, it really was blink and you'll miss it.
I definitely didn't see any of those scary looking fellas.
Interestingly, your brain did.
Really? How can you tell?
Let me show you a picture of your brain.
Okay.
These parts of the brain here are the amygdala. That's the fear centre of the brain, and it controls the fight or flight response. There's one on the left, one on the right, and they're kind of sort of in the middle of your brain.
Okay, so whenever anything scary happens to you, that fires up.
Yeah, so this kind of controls your fear response. And these red dots show that your amygdala was activated when you saw snakes.
Okay, but Jeff, I didn't see those snakes, so how come it's firing up?
Well, if we look at your structural scan,
Yeah.
we've got two routes to vision. We've got a conscious route where information enters the eyes, gets passed along the optic nerve, and ends up at the very back of the brain, the primary visual cortex.
And if it's something scary, then it'll go to the amygdala, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's a very slow route, but it's the conscious world that we live in. It's what we can see. But there's another route. There's an unconscious route. And this is really, really fast. So information comes in the eye, it's passed along the optic nerve to this part of the brain here, called the superior colliculus. And this is an evolutionary ancient part of the brain. It's really, really old. But the good thing is it can pass information directly through to the amygdala. And this route is purely unconscious, but very fast.
This lightning-quick unconscious response to snakes probably evolved around 65 million years ago, when they were one of our ancestors' most dangerous predators. And amazingly, we may still be using it in today's world, helping us to react to and avoid danger before we see it.
If I wait for consciousness to catch up, it might just be too late.
These advertising agencies are forming alliances with neuroscientists like Professor Gemma Calvert to chart any details of how our brains respond to advertising that other market research has failed to reach. So Gemma, can you tell me what's happening here?
What's happening is that we're taking images of the subject's brain whilst she's looking at adverts, and we're looking for differences in the brain as a function of whether these ads are shown at different parts of the day.
What are some of the surprises that you found?
We found that advertising was better absorbed and encoded and understood in the morning compared to the evening day part.
By measuring blood flow to specific parts of the brain, neuroscience can reveal exactly which areas are active at a given moment.
We can see these areas lighting up and can then predict how people are going to behave to the advertising.
Brain scanning not only offers advertisers a window into the control centres of the mind, but also a means to pre-test consumer responses to either brands or new ad campaigns. These insights stand to save the advertising industry enormous sums of money.
I think finally we've got a way of objectively measuring the effectiveness of advertising. It's really helping the communications industry to de-risk some of the decisions that they make in terms of communications and marketing.